So I will be showing you guys how to do the Pipework 4 today. So what we will do is the Pipework 4, which is uploaded in the Blackboard classwork. So this is the drawing. This is very similar to your Pipework 3. In your Pipework 3, you had two heads coming towards one tail, but this is just opposite. So one head is coming and it's split up over here using a T connection, and there is two tail going into two pumps. Okay, so the flow direction is from the equipment 1201 towards the pump 1501A and pump 1501B. Okay, so we're going to add these three equipments. So let's see. Initially, we will just create a site. Let's name it Pipework 4. Create a zone over here. Just go with the default. In the library, so we have 1201. I'll just add this one and zoom out a little bit. Okay, and these two pumps, 1501B and 1501A. Okay, so I have added all the equipments in here according to the drawing. Let's see if I can align the drawing with the view. Is it like this? Yeah, it is like this, right? Okay, it's similar so that we don't make any mistakes. Okay, so I'll close this one, select the zone, and what you're going to do is create a piping in this zone. So create a pipe, name it maybe pipe 4. As you can see, I don't see the pipe specification thing, so I'll do the same solution. Just drag it out. So if you don't see this pipe specification, just expand it a little bit more. Okay. So just click this arrow and expand it a little bit more. You should be able to see this pipe specification. Bore diameter, we don't know, so just do this one. So our pipe is generated, so and a branch is generated as well. A branch connection, the head point, according to the drawing, is let me check which nozzle. So it's nozzle 3 of 1201 going towards the suction nozzle of pump. So what I will do is I'll create a branch from this nozzle 3 towards pump 1501A. That would be my branch 1. And my branch 2 would be, head would be this point in the left point in the T component, and the tail would be the section nozzle of 1501B. All right. So let's, you can do it a different way. You can create your branch 1 towards the 1501B, and then the other branch towards this one. Both works fine. All right. So this is left click. Let's select left click over here. So it's displaying me the list of nozzle. I need the nozzle 3, which is, as I can see, my pipe would be 100 millimeter diameter. So I'll do the finish the connection. So I think the nozzle is at the bottom. As you can see, there you go. That's my nozzle. All right. Let's focus over there. Okay. And my tail connection would be, all right, so in here, N1 is this nozzle as it's the spring, and the diameter is the same. So this would be my nozzle tail point. So automatically 2 gaskets and flanges generated. Let's go to the create components in this branch. And let's check which flange is this one. So this is flange 2. So the flange over here is flange 1. So we will start from flange 1 initially in the flow direction. So what component do we have? So we have an elbow in here, 90-degree elbow, and after that there is another 90-degree elbow. Okay, so we will create the elbow in the flow direction because we are working from the head part. So as you can see, the dotted line is moved. So what we did was right. The direction of the elbow is sideways towards the pump. So we need to rotate the pump, rotate the elbow. So elbow is selected, go to the modify, and this direction is west. So we want to rotate it towards the west, okay? And we need to create another elbow. So we can just use the copy current component, and this one should be in the direction towards the pump, which should be north. Okay, so let's do north. Okay, so now the issue is I don't know this distance, but I know like this elbow endpoint is aligned with the T top point. Okay, they're in the same plane, right? So what I can do is I can start from the tail, build up the elbow. So there is an elbow in here, and then a valve, and after that some horizontal distance, and then the T. So I'll start from the tail, work up to the T, and then align this one, align this elbow with the T. So I will have this distance. I don't need to measure it. Okay. So understanding the drawing is the main big part of doing the CAD drawing. If you understand the drawing and can visualize how do you need to do it, the drawing becomes a lot easier. Okay, so let's start with from the flange 2 because we want to start from the tail. Again, these letters you can just close this one. This should go away, and you can create component again. So these things go away. This is like a glitch. It keeps over there. Okay. All right. So flange 2. What I want to create is an elbow in the reverse flow direction, right? Against the flow direction. So create. As you can see, my dotted line is moved, so I'm doing it right. This one should be in the other pump's direction. So I need to modify, and I want to work in a backward mode now because I'm working from tail, and it should be in the west direction. Okay. After this one, I have a valve, and then after that a T. So let's create a valve. So this is the valve. There are a list of valves over here. I'll just go with the first one. You can try the other ones as well. See if it looks similar to this drawing. So most of the time in the drawing, you'll be given the valve specification. So don't worry about that. I'll just create a valve over here. So as you can see, like after this elbow, a flange is generated. As you can see, just it's being highlighted. A flange is generated. I just selected one valve, but flange and gaskets automatically came with the valve. Okay, so flange is generated, gasket is generated. Now this is the valve, and there is another gasket, and then this is the flange. After this flange, that top elbow. So after this flange, the next component is now this top elbow. Okay. So I want to create a T in between. So I'll start from the flange here, and now I want to do my T. Okay, so I'll just create a T. I'll just go with this one, 100 millimeter diameter, create. should work. So let's undo it. So this is the one. There you go. For some reason, I don't know, I had this problem before as well. Whenever I'm selecting this 100 millimeter, I think it's generating the 1 millimeter, and when I'm just selecting the 1 millimeter, it's giving me 100 millimeter. I think it's the issue of the software, so try out different stuff. So there is no other 100 millimeter for me to try it out. So if it doesn't work, just try to generate it with the default feature. Sometimes it comes out. It's a software issue. All right, so after this T, so I need to add some horizontal distance over here. So as you can see, there is some distance over here. So let me show you how you can do that. If you want to just add some straight pipelines, how can you do that? So after this flange, this is the T. So I want to add some distance in between these two components. Okay, so let's go to modify. So select the last component, go to modify, and now as you can see this position through toolbar, we have been using these ones, but we never use this one. So it says distance clearance. Okay, so you can select this, it changes. Okay, so I'll use this one and maybe add 100 millimeter distance. Okay, as you can see, it moved a little bit, so it seems reasonably fine. Okay, but now this one should be in the middle of these two valves. So we'll align it later. After we finished everything, I'll show you how you can drag this one and drag this whole part all together. Okay, so for now it looks reasonable. So let's try to finish the branch 1 and branch 2, and then after that I will align it in the middle. Okay, so now I have the T done. So now I can start moving this elbow to the right position because they are in the same plane, and then build up the other components. Okay, so I'll go back to the top elbow and change it to the forward mode because I'm working from head, and now I want to position this one through the next component, which is the T. After this elbow, this is the T. So I want to position it through the next component. As you can see, this straight distance comes in, and then after that I have a valve, and then a downward elbow, and the other two elbows. So same way, elbow 2 is selected. I'll just generate the valve in here. In the flow direction, make sure you always check the flow direction. Okay, so I have the valve, and as you can see, after the elbow 2, a flange is generated, gasket, valve, flange, and then the T. So gasket, flange, and the T. So the flange and the T over here. So I need to add, after this flange, an elbow, another elbow, and another elbow. Okay, so what I will do is I'll just create another elbow over here, 90-degree elbow in the flow direction, and this should, I'll go to the modify. So the elbow is selected, it should be in the downward direction. After that, there is another elbow, so I'll just use the copy current component. Now, as you can see, there is some vertical distance in here. So this one should be, or like we should use these coordinate values up 13 feet 9 inches from the bottom. So you should have used these coordinates to align this, to have this vertical height, but this coordinate value doesn't match with the position of the equipment in our library because these drawings are really old. So what I will do is I'll just add some visible vertical distance so that it looks very similar. All right, using the same position through clearance tool. So what I'll do is I'll add maybe 500 millimeter vertical distance. Okay, so this elbow is moved downwards. So after that, I have another elbow. which should be downwards and aligned with the T. Okay, so let's make it downwards and position through the next component, which is my T. Okay, so there you go. My branch 1 is done. Now about branch 2. All right, so let me close this one. So pipe, I want to modify this pipe and I want to create a branch. So create a new branch over here. Branch head, because the flow direction is from top to the pumps, so my branch head would be this one. Okay, because the flow is coming from this way. And my branch tail would be this nozzle. Okay, so as you can see in the branch 2, automatically a gasket and flange is generated over here, but there is nothing generated over here because there is no nozzle connection over here. All right, so flange is, let me go to the create components in the selected branch. So as you can see, this is the flange. Just wanted to make sure. And I want to create an elbow in, because I'm working from tail, I want to do it against the flow direction. I have this elbow, and because they are aligned, it's automatically connected, but I have a valve in between. So I'll just, after this elbow, I'll just add one more valve, the same valve. So the valve, so the drawing is more or less finished. The only thing I wanted to show you is how do we drag it, right? So let me check like if my T is in the middle or not. It looks a little bit to the left, right? But if I move this one, like if you move this component, maybe use the same position through toolbar, what will happen is this will move, but these parts, like this elbow, this 90-degree elbow will not move. So it will disconnect it, and you have to add the same distance over here and align it. So it will be hectic. Okay, but this is already done. So what can we do? The ideal situation would be if you can drag the whole thing all together, so that automatically some straight pipeline will be added over there. So how can we do that? So what do you want to, like, you need a point to drag on. So I want to select this T for the dragging. So what I can do is I can go to the branch 1 and then select this T. So I want to do the dragging operation on this T. So you need to go to the modify, and then if you go down, so as you can see, we use the orientation toolbar, but we never use this other toolbar. So you have advanced positioning drag, advanced positioning move. We will use the advanced positioning drag toolbar. So what it will do is it will just drag the whole pipeline components. Okay, so this is the center point. So we want to move it towards the west direction. So direction would be west. How much? Let's try 50. Right, the origin will be moved. So let me show you like the whole thing is moving or not. So click apply. As you can see, the whole segment is moving all together. All right, so it seems a little bit more or less in the middle, but let me apply one more time. No, it's too much. So I can always type east or just negative some value, so it looks more or less in the middle. So we are actually done with our piping. Let me take a look. Let me close this one. This goes away. All right. It looks fine. So you have these elbows, valves, T connection connected to the top. So this is my head connection going all the way towards these two branches. All right. So that would be all. Thank you, everyone. Yo.